Bethel Clouds TV, empowering lives.
Welcome, Apostle. So today we just have a quick 5 questions. We want to know, we are going to talk about the happenings in the country. So the first thing is, why the 20 million Ruto factor?
Wow, that is a very important question that everybody ought to know. I will start by trying to explain the power of altars and sacrifices. Okay. People don't understand this. The power of altars and sacrifices. It's so powerful thing that people don't understand. Rulers of the world, kings of the world, preachers, people of the gospel, whatever kind of a gospel, may it be Muslim, may it be Buddhism, Christianity, witches, politicians, business people, they thrive under powers of altars and sacrifices, which means whatever Ruto is doing is part and parcel and falls in that category. So I want just to do some recap here. Leadership is not merely about occupying a position.
Okay.
It's not merely about occupying any position. Leadership, it's about standing on the right foundation and discerning the spiritual tides and understanding the mysteries of sacrifices and altars. That is leadership.
So it's not about...
it's not about that I'm a president of Kenya. Any president of any republic of anywhere, there are powers and altars of sacrifices behind him. He is a president because of altars. He is a president because he has given sacrifices. May it be human sacrifices, may it be animal sacrifices or monetary sacrifices. Before Ruto became the president, he made sure that he went to all the churches of this country, Independent Church, PCA, Pentecostal churches, all. He visited them, donating money. He had set aside almost 300 million for the churches. That was a sacrifice. Remember, he was not looking for God. Sacrifices is not about God. It's about a deity. Whichever, whether you're a Christian or whatever, it's a deity. It's a power. It's an authority. Sacrifice can be given by anybody, by anything. And it does not necessarily that you must be a Christian for you to give a sacrifice. It's not necessary for you to be a Muslim for you to give a sacrifice. Even if you are an atheist like Prophet Habakkuk, he can give a sacrifice, and a sacrifice will speak on his behalf. Sacrifices are given at the altars. So not necessary that you must be a Christian, that it must be a Christian altar or a Buddhist altar. Any altar is an altar, and any sacrifice is accepted at any altar. Are you getting me? Yeah, that's why Abraham was called by God to go to Mount Moriah and give his son out as a burnt offering. He called Solomon to go into the Mount Gibeon and offer 1,000 cows for wisdom. 1,000 cows were purely for wisdom. That God wanted to give this man wisdom, and God tested Solomon by asking him to give 1,000. In the book of Genesis chapter number 22, God tested Abraham and told Abraham, give me your son,
Isaac.
The only son you have, Isaac, the son that you love. Those are the 3 things. Give me your son. The only son you love, Isaac, the son that you love. Those, take him to Mount Moriah. In one of the mountains I will show you. So that is a deity in the name of God. That he directs you what to give, how to give, when to give, and where to give. That is what makes a sacrifice become a reality. So when Ruto was campaigning with Gachagua and previously with Uhuru, they visited some churches, or not even some churches.
So many churches.
The main churches they visited were Independent Church of East Africa, or of Africa, AIPCA.
Okay.
That church is very important for anyone to become a president of this nation. You must visit AIPCA, at the altar of the AIPCA. Because the altar of the AIPCA is where the power and authorities of Kenya are best. It is the AIPCA that fought for the freedom of this nation through the Mau Mau. But they were assisted by the Orthodox Church of Moscow. That is why the cross of the Orthodox Church of Moscow and the cross of the Independent Church in Kenya are the same. The altar of Moscow Orthodox Church and the altar of the Independent Church of Kenya is one. That is why Independent Church of Kenya derived their powers from Moscow. That is from Moscow. That's why they were able to overcome the white man from UK, the white man from Germany, the white man from Scotland.
The Europeans.
Europeans. Moscow defeated Europeans in Kenya through an altar. Mau Mau were fighting using the Kikuyu altar, which was not very much enough to defeat a European altar, because an European altar was international. The Kikuyu altar was local. So they needed a booster for the altar to become international, so that an international altar can fight an international altar. Are you getting me?
I'm getting.
So when Ruto moved around the country, they were giving sacrifices in various churches, various appointed churches, that according to their astrologists and these people who read the stars, they call what? The star readers.
Star readers, yeah.
And the astrologists and their witches and their wagangas, they sat down with Ruto and Gachagua. Then they were told, this, you can target this area, this area, this area. This is where to give your sacrifices for you to capture the nation. So how many areas were targeted? The Church of Independence was targeted. The Church of PCA was also targeted. The Church of AIC Milimani, is it AIC? Yeah, AIC, the Methodist, the Church of SDA, the Church of, and also the Muslim fraternity, and also the Muslim fraternity from the Swahili nation, and the Muslim fraternity from the Somali nation. They were subdivided in two. Then another part they really targeted is the Council of Elders of all tribes in Kenya. That is why in Kikuyu they targeted the Kongo Muigai, who brought all the elders of the Gikuyu. They took them to Ruto. Meanwhile, Uhuru and another splinter group of the Kikuyu Council of Elders went to Bondo to visit Raila. So those were two divided forces. But again, the Kalenjin elders, they are called what? They have a name of the Kalenjin elders. The Talam, they met and consecrated Ruto and raised an altar. The Maasai the same, the Kisi the same, the Mijikenda the same, all the Turkana the same, the Somalis the same. The Council of Elders raised altars, and Ruto sacrificed in their altars.
So this Council of Elder ordination to anyone they give, any political leader, that's altar.
Wait a bit. There's something I'm trying to explain to you. Oh. Every gathering of Kikuyu elders, it's a formation of an altar.
Okay.
Every Kisii coming together as elders is a formation of an altar. Every Maasai, formation of an altar. Every Kalenjin is a formation of an altar. So whatever Ruto did, he went to every altar and they gave a sacrifice to that altar towards an election.
Oh, okay.
He did that to the Muslims. He did that to PCA. Why PCA? because PCA is predominantly Kikuyu and he wanted Kikuyu vote. He went to AIPCA, is also predominantly Kikuyu, and he wanted the basis, the foundation of the Kikuyu is in the AIPCA. And they are the ones who are currently with the altar that rules Kenya. He had to give a sacrifice there. Then he went to Pentecostal churches and gave money. That was a sacrifice. He was not giving an offering. He was giving a sacrifice. He gave to the council of elders. He gave to the church, mainstream churches. He gave to all churches. Then he went to Tanzania, picked up a sheikh who is a witch. And that sheikh went to every county of this nation, every county headquarter of Kenya, 47 counties. And they did sacrifices of animal. They slaughtered bulls and then buried them according to the spiritual witchcraft on that sheikh. That sheikh was brought in by Sudi, the Eldoret Kapseret.
Yeah.
He's the one who brought him from Tanzania. And he moved all across the 47 counties. Then the wife of Ruto started something that's called table banking with women. He gave sacrifices in Murang'a, in Kiambu, in Kakamega, in Kisii, all over. The Ruto family were raising sacrifices. And that is what drove Ruto into power. That is what made Ruto to become the president. It is not the faith he has, that I am a Christian. He never applied a single faith direction when he was raising these altars. He went to all faiths and raised altars in all faiths. So all faiths fought for him.
Bethel Clouds TV, empowering lives.